Hey guys, I decided to do a sort of brief review video on cheap deploying clasps for the thread for cheap deploying clasps because I happen to have a pretty good um, collection of those going at this point. Let's see, I've got 4 different kinds here, and then I've got a couple of others that I can show you to contrast with ones I shipped with brands. And let's see. Oh, sorry, I've got 5 actually floating around here because somewhere here is a quartz Seiko. Oh, there it is. With a really great dial. And cool hands, actually, too. They got that half polished, half brushed thing going on. But yeah, this is also just a straight friction clasp. And this is by the brand on AliExpress, I believe labeled Remzeim. It's Remzeim, and that one is that out of the mix here. And for just a straight friction clasp, it's it's all right. It's freaking hard to snap together. Requires a fair bit of force, but retention's great. Does its job. How long it lasts, who knows? Working for me for now. Yeah, nice watch. Anywho, what had happened was I had been ordering mostly these, and then somebody on the forum there, I can't remember who, suggested Uthai, and so I decided to pick up a few of those, and that looks quite different in terms of retention method. Build is fairly close. And then there was this one. This was the first cheap one I purchased. It was from Amazon, and it was like Vellsar, Vellsar. Don't know if that link's still active on there. I don't recall exactly when I purchased it, sometime in the last couple of years. And I want to say it was around $15 Canadian, somewhere in there. And it's got a similar retention method to the Remzeim with an additional pin is traveling on. It's a little more spring there. This is much easier to activate. It's just looser, cheaper feel. This does feel a lot more premium in terms of appearance. Not much. And in terms of fit and finish, there's a fair bit of play there. And you can see how it's different on the back. It's got these 2 little tabs sticking out there. We don't have that here. Again, fairly loose. That's not a big deal. You can see here there's a cutout and a couple of tabs sticking out on either side there. You got your wings. And that's not the case here. There's your little wings. They're just barely sticking out there, and they are sliding into a groove on that portion of the clasp. As for here, it's these 2 wings sliding in. And I've ordered 7 of these, I think, and I did have one where one of those wings, or maybe it was just, I don't know whether this had gotten cocked or what, but I was getting interference, and I had to just file at it for a minute or 2 with a stone until I could get the fit. And that was easy enough, so not like a serious complaint. But if it had been a coated model, then obviously that would have had to be far more careful. It might have sucked. So yeah, retention method, as you can see, for these 3 models, and this one here is called Langley. That's it. So if you're searching on AliExpress, this is the Langley store, and it's again very similar. You can see the pushers are a little different, but otherwise not a lot of difference there. And the reason I went with this Langley one over any of the others is they have sizes down to 10 millimeters. These guys, the Uthai and the Remseam, they stop at 16, I think. And they go up from there. I believe it's 16, 18, 20 for Uthai. I think Remseam goes up a little further. What are they doing? They go up to 24, and these guys go from 22 all the way down to 10. Which is cool because I sort of wanted to see what it was like adding Deployant to this cradle here. And for that I needed a 14 mil clasp, because they're about 13.6 on the buckle. Okay, so retention. All these are pretty good. This one's a little stiff going together. This one is very easy going together, and I found that for all of them. It's just it's a little sloppier, but it's very easy to use. These Uthai, it's different. And this Amazon Velshner is kind of, honestly, I wish I could tell you something different, but for the $15 I spent, it does feel like a little more premium. It feels like, $10, roughly speaking. Well, that was Canadian, actually, because if I'm paying $4 or $5 for these US, so it's a little closer, just a bit. You can see the size difference, comparatively speaking, between those buckles. Keep in mind this is a 14, so you're getting a little bit more squish there, and I don't have a 16 or 18 to compare it to. But the Uthai appears to be, just by a slim margin, the chunkiest of the bunch. And as far as these coming apart, so with a push, one-handed, fairly easy. This one requires a fair bit more force to actuate there. It's also sturdier though. You got all those pins it's traveling on. And the retention method's different. I'll get into that. So this one obviously is super easy, no problem. And this one slightly less easy. Feels like it's one side is sticking more than the other. I've got a bit of rubbing going on there somewhere. So single post, 4, 2 for the pushers. And let's just look at this one for a second. So with these, it's fairly obvious. You've got a slot, you've got two opposing hooks there, essentially. Don't know if that's easy enough to see. Whereas in this case, you've actually got a couple of pins at the base there that are angled. And when you push this side, pushes the other one away and out of the slot, vice versa. And then it's this portion here that's locking down. I don't really have an opinion on which is the superior method there. This is a tighter package overall. You can see, feel it. And it is a similar price, however, it does require a bit more force to actuate, and I have not had any sort of a failure with these so far. And I'm using probably 3 or 4 of them fairly regularly. But I'm not doing anything crazy. It's not like I've hooked a wrist and, really tested it in any way. And just to compare, because I've actually got a couple that look like those. So here we have, this is a Kentex SB open heart model, probably about a decade old at this point. And it's got a clasp very similar to the Remseam, the Velsar, the other one, Langley. And even the shape of that is fairly similar. That's a great feeling clasp, actually. And here we have Zabome Clifton. It's a watch I like. I really like the hands, actually, and the dial. Case shape's pretty good. I like Bohm. They make nice looking watches. The only thing about this I don't like is it's just a touch too big for me. So that's unfortunate. This is a fairly new watch. It's got a 22 card. I think it was probably made 2020 and thereabouts, 21. And you can see it is different from the Uthai. Where are we here? But they clearly took, or they're using some of the same things here. They got that 4-pin, and what was it? Oh yeah. So this, I don't know about that. Those are pretty thin, man. Like, it feels nice. It feels really nice, actually, the actuation, but those are some thin little fingers. So, yeah, probably fine. Looks nice, though. It's a great looking clasp. And it wears well. And here, just so you can see it, we have a, I was going to say PVD, I don't know what kind of coating this is, regardless of what they say on the website. We'll see when I start scratching at it. And that was to get a bit more life out of the stock strap. So I really like this red stitching. Dear smudge. And it's disintegrating a little bit there. Yeah, easy clasping, easy to... If you want to see here, actually I've got two watches here. So this is the Velsar. But this one feels a little... comes out pretty easily. But it feels nice. It feels nice. I imagine if those pushers break in a little bit, they're just a touch easier to... And that's... a little mushier when it's closing on the strap. But overall, I'm pretty impressed with these. I haven't actually worn this yet. Just pop them down right next to each other since they are the same case. The difference being the dial. It's a limited edition lacquer dial. So, not a whole lot between them, honestly. It's going to depend on your preference. Like I say, this one is a bit looser, but it's also easier to use, and the retention still feels pretty good. This one feels a lot sturdier in terms of its construction. It's just more rigid, but it is stiffer on the button there. This one is a smaller pusher as well. And in terms of price, these are maybe 50 cents or something cheaper. There's nothing really between them. So it's your preference. And yeah, this portion of the clasp. This one's a little thinner, this one's a little fatter. And what was I gonna do? This. Still got my pin in there. What'd I do with it? There you be. Yep, that's the right way. Sometimes I put these things on the wrong way. Now get in there, you bastard. There we go. Feels pretty good. A bit more force than the Remzium to close the Langley. Yeah, quite a bit more force, actually. Yeah, that's just super easy. This is, again, twice as much as that. But different retention method. Oops, sorry. Gotta work on my focus. You know what? Pop this on the wrist. Okay. So I don't think I could go another... I've still got a little bit of play there. And yes, 'tis a tiny watch, but I like small watch sometimes. Feels pretty nice, actually. Pretty nice. No problem. This feels a little dinky here. Like, look at that. All right. Fortunately, I got 2/14ths. So let's see if this other one has that issue. Now that one feels pretty firm. It's got a nice positive click. And I suspect... Yeah. There you go. These were cheaper than the other ones. They came in at about, what was it, $330? There you go. I've already got an issue with one of them. And maybe it'd be fine on the wrist, like, but it does come out pretty easy. It might be fine. Don't want to say it's definitely not. Now, which freaking hole did I settle on? I don't remember. Eeny, miny. Come on, baby. It's snug. There's a larger hole. Okay. So that one Doesn't... Okay, it did that time. I felt a lot of resistance on that first press, so... This too may require a little correction. And it feels, or sorry, it looks like it's coming apart okay. Yeah, that side feels good. This side, a lot of resistance. Let's force it. That feels like the Uthai going down, and then when I'm pushing, that side's easy. A little more. It's hanging on there. So, let me grab the loop. Yeah, so it looks like it's a slightly different shape. They all kind of look like the head of a bird, a goose perhaps. But it is a slightly different shaped goose. So what I'm going to have to do is actually just flatten off the head of that, I think, and change the angle slightly. So, yeah, this too will require... I mean, I guess I could just keep mashing them together and it'll eventually, but I'm already... I can see I'm causing damage to the top of that that small piece there, that whatever you call that part of the pusher, or the retention, etc., the hook. And yeah, it's just where this is impacting the top. I'm putting in some scratches. It's just not the same geometry as the other ones. Yeah. So there you go. So out of the... What did I get? I also got a 12 for these guys. I mean, well, might as well check it. 2 out of 3 have some kind of minor issue. And I'll say the last one's still minor because, you know, like, I think it's solvable. Yeah, it feels good. Feels good. Not bad. Yeah, so... Whoops. So the 12 feels okay, but both 14s have an issue, and that was Langley is the name of the store sending those clasps. And you can identify that they are different by the shape of that pusher. They look very similar, but not quite. Alright, so yeah, I think that's good for a cheap clasp review. Hope this is helpful. And, yeah, don't like, comment, or subscribe, because I don't care. It's all good. Later.